Why does Ash Ketchum never age? Unicorn blood, a Dorian Gray portrait, or simply a great skincare routine? Fans have cooked up all kinds of theories over the past 2.5 decades, but nearly 25 years since Ash Ketchum began his adventure, the general director of the Pokémon anime has finally given us an official answer, and that answer is so simple but so beautiful that it is certainly worth talking about. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? We have been hit with a truly epic lore drop that came from the most unlikely of places. Arsham's Pokédex, a collaborative book produced by the Pokémon Company and contemporary artist Daniel Arsham that contains images of his stirring Pokémon artwork as well as interviews with not only Daniel Arsham himself, but also Kunihiko Yuyama, who has been the general director of the Pokémon anime since the very beginning, who discusses the process of adapting the games into an animated series and drops juicy lore nuggets worth writing your mother about. Firstly, just to provide some context for Arsham's Pokédex, it's essentially a companion volume to Daniel Arsham's A Ripple in Time Pokémon artwork exhibition, which is unfolding in Tokyo in February 2022. Alongside the exhibition and the book and the other merch, we've also been treated to a beautiful and oddly chilling anime short featuring Pikachu and Ash of the same name, A Ripple in Time, which is certainly worth a watch. Without a doubt, Daniel Arsham's work is really cool, and you can pick up a copy of his book online if you are interested in adding these dystopian, cool, kinda creepy Pikachu pictures to your Pokemon collection. Anyways, Arsham's melancholic, time-rippling art aside, in the book's interview chapters, the Pokemon anime's original director, Kunihiko Yuyama, finally addressed the core reason behind Ash's agelessness, and that is what we are here to talk about. So today's plan is to 1. Briefly run through 3 popular fan theories that have gained traction in the past 25 years, 2. Take a look at what Mr. Yuyama actually revealed about Ash never growing up, and 3. Discuss what it all means, because it is so beautiful. And as always, it is going to be a fun time, so kindly time slip that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump right in. Mr. Yuyama's comments nail down the truth of the matter, but beforehand, let's review 3 major fan theories that have emerged over the years because they are pretty interesting. Based on the contents of various Pokédex entries, for instance in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, wherein Ho-Oh's entry states, it is said that those who see Ho-Oh are promised an eternal happiness. Or in Ruby and Sapphire, wherein the entry states that its feathers are said to bring happiness to those who bear them. Based on these Pokédex entries, there are those who believe that Ash never physically ages because he encountered Ho-Oh in the first episode of the Pokémon anime, and because what would bring him eternal happiness is to retain his youth forever. And that is kind of beautiful, but it begs the question, what about everyone else in the series? Did everyone else see Ho-Oh too? In my opinion, this theory holds less water than a Diglett out on the town. According to this theory, Ash is tragically injured by Pikachu's air-searing Thundershock in episode 1, and slips into a coma wherein the remainder of his adventures unfold. As such, he never ages during his journeys, and within this comatose world, all his friends and achievements are merely figments of his imagination. It is really depressing. This theory suggests that Ash and Pikachu actually do pass away when the chandelier falls on them in the Tower of Terror and Haunter pulls their souls from their bodies. People suggest that although Haunter did return them to their bodies at the end of the episode, they are simply ghosts, possessing their own deceased bodies, which kind of makes me want to vomit. This theory is right up there with the Ho-Oh craziness. But likewise, we have to wonder, what about the other characters in the series? Or is Misty simply a short 35-year-old with skin as smooth as a Shuckle's shell? As grim as it is, I think that the coma theory is the most plausible of these 3 theories. However, if we simply brought time-bending Pokemon like Dialga and Celebi to the theory table, even more convincing explanations could be derived. So please do let me know your craziest theories in the comments. Well, with that said, let us explore Mr. Yuyama's definitive words on the issue. In the Arsham's Pokédex interview, Mr. Yuyama had a lot of interesting things to say about the anime, and when asked about how he sought to differentiate the anime from the games, Mr. Yuyama explained that he viewed the anime as a story that captured the feel of a day of summer vacation in one's childhood, of children venturing on a trip into the unknown, exploring a world without parents alongside their friends and others who they engage along the way. I think that is a feeling that the show captures very well, which makes it a pleasure to watch even as an adult, because it is just so deeply ingrained with a sense of childhood nostalgia that is further amplified for any viewers who grew up with Pokémon. And here we go, speaking specifically to Ash's age and why he has never grown up. Mr. Yuyama said the following. In the setting of the animation, the main character Ash is forever 10 years old and the background season is forever early summer. Sometimes it gets cold up in the mountains or it could be hot. Those changes happen by traveling. Fundamentally, it is forever early summer and he is forever 10 years old. And on top of that, a day of summer vacation repeats perpetually. This is what I have hoped to create. A view of the world that would be ideal for children. And there we have it, Ash has not aged past 10 and never will because he is living out an eternity of early summer days, wherein his adventures will never end. Of course, it has never been a secret that Ash exists on a floating timeline, like so many other cartoon or comic book heroes, destined to adventure into perpetuity alongside his comrades. But Mr. Yuyama's response in this interview strikes the why of it all in a way that honestly kind of brings a tear to my eye, making me long for the early days of summer wherein it seemed like infinite fun and infinite adventures were stretched out before me. Because as a self-employed adult, those seemingly endless summer vacations simply do not exist. But as Mr. Yuyama stated, the spirit of those years is bottled up in the Pokemon anime. And that is a big reason why this anime is so beautiful to so many people. Personally, I think that an Ash who ages could bring tremendous value to the series in different ways, and yet this would also come with a sacrifice. Letting go of the safe haven of youthful innocence and carefree adventures that Ash exists within, just as we must in the real world, once we take on more and more responsibility. So in that sense, I do appreciate having a hero who is almost a sort of avatar, through which I can live out the feelings of those youthful years once again. And I think that is why people of all ages can enjoy the anime, the games, the cards, and the merch. Because whether you are young or old or really old, the Pokemon universe calls you back to a childlike adventure wherein your dreams are big, your imagination can run wild, and you can live it all out together with your friends and family. Like Peter Pan's story, the idea of Ash's eternal summer has somewhat of a melancholic tint to it, when we view his tale from the perspective of people who actually do age and are forced to move through life stages. But at the same time, isn't there just a part of you that craves for that eternal summer? Personally, I remember being 9 years old, playing Pokemon Red and reading Harry Potter, and like many kids thinking that maybe, just maybe, I could be the chosen one or a wizard or a top tier battler, or that at the very least, I had an infinite amount of time with which to live out my wildest dreams. As such, traveling back in time to that era of childhood innocence and unchained ambitions through Ash's eternal summer always surprises me in the way these trips not only fill me with a sense of bittersweet nostalgia, but also grant me new insights about myself and how I have grown, giving me a sense of awareness and a feeling of strength to keep pushing forward through the trials of adulthood that feel just as infinite as the adventures of those eternal summers once did. We have known for years that Ash does not age, but Mr. Yuyama's words as to the why of why he does not age hit harder than most may realize. But how about you? Did Mr. Yuyama's words strike up a longing for the past within you? Do you have any interesting theories regarding the in-universe mechanics behind Ash's agelessness? And do you find strength in the eternal summer concept? Or do you simply see it as a trap holding people back from reality? I'm curious what you think, and as always, let's chat.